Hi, everyone. Welcome to budget class. Can everyone hear us? Just making sure this is working.
Hyundai Tucson versus Honda CR-V.
Okay. Can everyone hear us? Yes. Oh, good. Okay, Linda, we are ready to go, and the floor is yours.
All right. Hi, everybody. This is Linda Halloran. I'm with Town and Country Federal Credit Union. And I want to say thanks for being with us tonight. And I'm joining us with Kate Caden to talk about budgeting, our second session. So Kate's got lots of great ideas to build on our work from last month. And hope that you'll be ready to put your questions and comments in the chat and share with us where you are on your journey. So take it away, as they say, Kate.
Thank you, Linda. Okay. Hi, everyone. So happy to see you. I hope that you enjoyed our first budget session, but if you didn't get a chance to see the first one we did, it's down in the description of this video and you can watch it later. Don't worry about it. If you didn't see it the first time, we are going to get into all the things that we talked about last week and more. Just so you guys have kind of an agenda to work with, we are going to roughly do a little 5-minute intro here. Give me 5 minutes to get going. 10 minutes to talk about adjusting our household budget. About 10 minutes talking about our savings and how to build up that account for our future self. About 5-10 minutes talking about giving, our third budget category. And then the last budget category will work on our lifestyle. And then I'm going to talk about one of my favorite budgeting strategies that I used called the budget buffer. If you are a K-Squad member, that means someone that has been subscribed to this channel for any length of time, you are probably familiar with the budget buffer. But if you're not, I cannot wait to talk to you about it. And then we will wrap up with a little bit of Q&A at the very end. So for those of you that have never laid eyes on me before, you might not know kind of my style. And I just want you to know that this is very conversational. I can see your comments in the chat and I'm so happy to see you here. I'm not going to just point at things and talk at you for an hour. This is a conversation together. Those of you that are familiar with my content, I hope that you feel, and if you're brand new here, that you're having a conversation with a friend about money. Firstly, the reason that is because that's just the way I am, and I like to treat people like the way I like to be treated, and I like to have conversations with friends that are not too judgmental, perhaps just kind of filled with openness, especially when it comes to talking about money, because not everyone's comfortable talking about money. I want to make budgeting simple for you. I want it to be encouraged, and dare I say, fun. Yes, I said it. Fun. I actually think budgeting's fun. So who am I? Why are you here, right? And I'm not here to convince you that I know it all, because I don't know it all, but I do have some very good information to share. I'm a hometown girl from Maine. I'm your local Maina. Please let me know in the comments if you are from Maine, perhaps a Town and Country member, etc. Maybe any Mainer, let me know. I went to college in Florida, graduated with my BA in psychology and my minor in dance. I got married in my late 20s. I was married for 7 years. I had a beautiful baby boy who is now 9, and later got divorced. And then I had to figure out, how am I going to get this done? How am I going to budget? How am I going to provide for me and my family? So do I have $1 million in the bank and I'm going to teach you how to be filthy rich? Probably not. Am I a financial expert? No, but I'm going to let you know this, okay? I just want you to know you're talking to a fellow Mainer But through the use of the budget style that I am teaching you over these 6 sessions, as a single mom, I paid off my car in full. I handed over a $20,000 check, paying it off. Boom, done. After lots of relentless saving, I bought a house. I saved up an emergency fund, and I don't live paycheck to paycheck currently, and I have no debt beyond my mortgage. So if you're just looking for a way to get a hold of your money, I'm your girl. I'm going to show you everything I've got. And last week was part 1. So here we go. If you were here last week, take out like your notebook, your pad of paper, whatever you had writing this down. And let's talk about our household budget. Do you guys remember what's in the household budget? In the household budget is all your essentials. It's all the things that are needed. And if perhaps an emergency were to ensue, the way to remember it is these are the things that you'd have to pay for even if an emergency happened. Okay? So, oh, hi, everyone. I'm seeing all your comments. I just want to make sure I stay focused, but I just want to acknowledge, I see you all. I'm so excited. Oh, thank you. Oh, yes. And you were here last week. Hi, Karen. Okay. So in the household budget, these are some things that we need to remember each month, okay? January started and everyone's excited about everything in January, right? Yes, budgeting. I love budgeting. I love eating right. I love going to the gym in January, right? But then February comes and some people are over it already, right? Like you're like, oh, okay, I did it. Now what next? So that's why Town and Country and we partnered up together so that we keep you motivated. We don't leave you high and dry. Once you've come off the high of January, we're going to keep you going, right? Yes. Okay. I already see what you guys are putting in. So the first thing, your mortgage is probably going to be the same. I'd imagine most people have it the same. But if it is different for some reason, all of these numbers you want to make sure are right for the month of February. Please know I am a unique monthly budgeter and I look at every month differently. There's no way I'm going to budget January, especially when I did no spend January. Congratulations to all of you that did no spend January. The same as I'm going to do July. July is summer. It's my son's birthday. It's peak season for all the fun weather things that you can do, and it's not going to be the same. So people that just do a set it and forget it every single month, the same exact thing, that never worked for me. So I'm sharing you what does work for me. Property tax. By the way, all of you that were here last week, I rewatched what you guys wrote in the comments during this time so that I could add anything that I might have missed, or maybe that's not part of my budget, but that are important to you. So property tax is included. Property tax and homeowners insurance is included in my mortgage. Is it the same for you guys? Like, do you guys have it all combined or do you have it separate? Let me know in the comments. Some of you mentioned you have HOA fees. So that's something to consider. That's probably going to be the same every month. Here's a huge one that I didn't talk about as much last time because I'm not in the daycare phase of life currently. But daycare most of the time costs a ton. Of course, it's worth every penny, but that's a big one. And that could fluctuate pending what's going on for you. Maybe you guys have the same thing every week, but maybe some weeks it's 3 days a week. Some days it's 2. And that matters when you're putting the budget together, you know? Who's in the daycare phase of life? Let me know in the comments. Oh, most of you have it combined. Oh, separate. Okay, so it's a little different for all of you. Beautiful. Oh, separate. Okay. So just take that into account. Next, another big necessity you need is groceries. me and Linda actually from Town and Country, we were just talking about our grocery bills the other day, and this is gonna fluctuate, right? This is gonna fluctuate. And if it's anything like my groceries, they have definitely gone up, right? So I would try to do an average of what you expect your groceries to be. And again, if it's above, like if it comes up higher, you might have to adjust things. I'm very active in my budget. I don't just leave it be. Or if perhaps you estimated a little high and it comes in lower, you could put that money towards savings or something else that you really need. Included in my groceries is pet care. Excuse me, pet care. I do cat food, litter. Who's got pets? I've got 3 cats, and I put that all with the groceries. Don't forget about them. I also put anything that's consumable, and I do all my health and beauty, my toilet paper, my shampoo, all that in my groceries, which many of you shared with me. You do it the same way, and some of you do it separately. Oh, you got some dogs. We got some cats. Love it. Okay. The next is heating. And if you are in Maine right now or anywhere near me, we got a cold spell coming and people are feeling a little bit of panic, but everything's okay. But it's going to be like in the negatives this weekend. So make sure you have heat at all times. Now your heat, this one, I never know what it's going to be, you guys. So I have to estimate and then adjust later. But I always estimate a little higher to compensate just in case. If it comes in lower, hey, that's amazing. The next thing on your list could be snow removal. Some of you might remove your own snow, but some of you might be paying to plow if you have a bigger yard, etc. Yeah, Sue, am I ready for the deep freeze? I don't know. Okay, so this is so not great, ND, what you just shared, but it is. ND, I'm sorry, I don't know if it's male or female, wrote, I did my initial household figures and I didn't make enough money to cover household expenses. So there is no money for anything else, to say the least. This is why I want you guys to do this, because you might have no idea that your basics aren't even covered and there is no room for extras. We might be putting stuff on credit cards, or we might be spending just way above our means because we don't even know what the basics are. So this is so great that we're going to be aware of it. Hi, Sai. Okay, so snow removal if you need it. Health insurance. My health insurance stays the same every month. Probably most of yours do, but again, just take a look at it. If you have any medical appointment co-pays, I don't think I talked about this much last week. Sorry, my kitten is saying hello. Oh, geez. So medical appointments are definitely something to work in there if you have co-pays, or if you don't have co-pays and you have even more. Hey, Team Gert. The next thing that goes with that are prescriptions. So you might have like your prescriptions that are prescribed, but then you also might need like children's Tylenol or regular Tylenol. My mother wouldn't even think about operating a home without Tylenol in the house somewhere. We always have Tylenol. Next is your dental insurance, if you have that. And to go along with that, you guys, any of the insurances. Some of you have life insurances. Some of you have chosen other types of insurance that are important to you. So make sure to put that in there. Car insurance. That one I do 6 months at a time because I get a discount. So some of you might choose to do it that way and some of you might not. Do you guys do that? I think I asked some of you last time, but do you do it lump sums? Do you do 6 months, or do you do 1 month at a time? Your car payment. As we're going through these, you're going to see, like, as you're adding up your household amount, that if you work toward paying off things such as your car payment. My car payment back in the day when I had a car payment was about $300 a month. And I had no idea how much of an impact it would have until I did pay it off. That extra $300 a month in your pocket is priceless. And if you do have debts, I would really work on getting rid of them, especially car debt, credit card debt, personal debt. You don't want that hanging over your head. Gas. Gas is going to fluctuate also, but do your best to estimate. Like I always say, round up a little bit, just in case. I am over 55 and also pay long-term care insurance. Yes, that's another good one. Yes, ND. Thanks for reading my comment. I'm trying to get a part-time job in addition to my full-time job. Excellent. Sometimes it's just going to be a little while, guys, that you've got to take on the extra. Actually, I think I talk about this in my video tomorrow, but sometimes it's like a spurt that you've got to take it on just for a little bit to get ahead. It might not be forever. So ND, like for example, if that is something that you've got to do right now, get excited about it so that you're going to get into the green. You'll be out of the red. And at first it's going to be like, okay, this is more work than I'm used to, but it'll be totally worth it. And maybe you don't have to do it forever, but get yourself in a good position. I'm proud of you for doing that. Vehicle maintenance. This one, hopefully you don't have every month, but if something comes up, if you blow a tire, etc., you might have to, or whatever your regular car maintenance is, like you might have to have that in there. And for me, I consider that being an essential, of course, because you need to do that. Okay. And then here we do car registrations and we do inspections. If you have that coming up that month, you want to add that in. If you have, some of you, water, sewer, garbage, etc., that is something to add in when you have it. We're just going through. So listen, some of you are like, we talked about this last week, but yes, you are what you repeat. And every month you're going to have to look at this. So if you're new here, this is like, okay, I'm getting this checklist going. And I think Linda is going to leave another checklist. Linda's going to leave in the comments another checklist from Town and Country that gives all the other possible options you could have in this category so that you don't forget, because everybody, is a little different. Electricity. We all need that. Mine varies, but probably not too much, but you guys, it might be more. For me, internet is essential. You might not need internet in your life, but for my job, my side hustle, actually for many things, I need it. So that for me is under my household. My cell phone. Do people still have landlines anymore? Are landlines a thing? I haven't had a landline since probably 2000-ish. Like I remember when I went back to Florida, I didn't have one. I haven't had one in quite a bit. So cell phone. Rosie just put a question mark. She's probably wondering what a landline is. Rosie is one of our youngest viewers. So good to see you in here, Rosie. And lastly, of the things that I'm going to talk about in the household category is definitely minimum debt payments. If you have debt, look, I originally, when I first started budgeting, listened to the Total Money Makeover by Dave Ramsey. And when I realized how beneficial it would be to get out of debt, that is one of the motivators for me to pay off my car back when I did. And in fact, it's one of the reasons I have my channel, because I talked about it in one of my earlier videos. And that kind of was one of the main things that I was sharing how I did. You know, I was just trying to share how I did it, which you can look that up, by the way. Kate Caden paid off car or something like that. And you can watch that some other time. But I realized that debt, I don't want to say, I don't want to like, I hate like when people are like, oh, it's an emergency, but it kind of is. When you add up your household and you remove all the debt, your number, your life expenses could be so much lower if we were able to get at that. And that's one of the things that, one of the goals of having this class, right? We don't want that debt on our shoulders. We don't want to live like that. We don't want to have sleepless nights. We don't want to worry about how we're going to pay the bills, right? So I'm so glad you guys are here, because this is just going to help get us in a position to reach our goals, but especially to get out of debt. Nobody wants debt. Before I move on, does anybody have any quick questions about the household? And I'm sorry I can't answer everything, but I just, if I see anything, I'm going to keep going. But make sure you know that, oh, thank you, Sue, that these are the essential things. And if anything went wrong, if you lost your job, if you had a medical emergency, etc., these are the things that need to get paid. So that's why I always start with this one, because these are the essentials. Got rid of the landline. Hey, Maxwell. Okay. So the next big one, and I feel like this is kind of like, I don't want to say the main event, but we want to have some savings, right? We want to have a little assurance in our future, though, you know, nothing is certain, but it's good to prepare. And it's good to prepare as early as you can. Like my dear Rosie, I am so glad you're here, because I wish I knew what you're going to know right now. These last few years of you watching the channel, you're going to be way ahead of the game. And if I could go back in time, that's the one thing I would change. I wish I would have known more about money and not just been so blind to how this works earlier. And I feel like many people would say that too. Oh, thank you so much, Mommy Dang Channel. Thank you. Oh, pest control. That is another one that you would probably need. Yes. Okay. So savings. If you haven't delved into retirement yet, this category, 401k, the 401k, if your company offers a match, I would be like, don't even think about it. Do it to the match. Like, that's my own personal advice. If they offer a 3% match, you put in 3%, they match it with 3, you're getting 6%, you're getting free money. If you don't know about 401ks, I can't get into it in this hour, but check with your HR person, check with your employer, especially if they offer a match. Do not sleep on this. I'm telling you. And the sooner the better. If you aren't there, do it tomorrow. You know, that it's just the sooner the better. Compound interest is truly magical. I worked at a school for a bit that offered a 403b, and that was my main form of retirement for a while. So that is another option depending, you know, where you are. Currently, I contribute to Maine State Retirement. Like I said, I work in a school again now, but that is the route that we do there. So I do Maine State Retirement. Roth IRA. If you don't have any other options from an employer standpoint, but you have earned income, you make any money, I would open a Roth IRA. It doesn't take that long to set up. It's not that complicated. In another video, I left all the information on that. But anyway, my point of this is, however you want to retire, start contributing to retirement. Don't wait until next year. Do it now, unless we're not there yet. But as soon as you are able, get in there. Emergency fund. All right. Your emergency fund is going to be your best friend. Not your best friend, but I do think that, yes, Sylvia, I do think Roth IRAs, 401ks, I don't have as much experience with that, but Roth IRA, yes. Oh, I'm sorry. I could digress onto that topic, but I want to keep going so I cover everything that we need to. Emergency fund, how much is enough? So this can vary, and it will depend on your level of comfort. It will depend on your future goals. But I would say a simple clear and cut starter is 3 to 6 months. Definitely. And what does that mean? 3 to 6 months of what? 3 to 6 months of your household. That is the answer. The household that we went through, when you total that up, that is your, in case it hits the fan money, and because that's what it costs for you to live without the icing on the cake, and that's not adding to your retirement. That's not your piano lessons. It's none of the extras. It's just to survive, to eat, to keep the roof over your head, to keep clothing on your body, to have transportation. So your emergency fund, in my opinion, 3 to 6 months of your household budget. And that is going to take a bit. Like our friend here that was saying, right now I don't have enough to cover the household. Look, that's where we're starting. We know that we need more, and we're going to make moves to get into position, right? Oh, fully funded 13 months emergency fund. I feel so happy. Congratulations. I'm using my emergency fund tomorrow. Busted a sewer line. That, Katie, stinks, right? Like it stinks. Like, oh, I don't want to use it, but that is exactly what it's there for. So Katie, you don't feel like it's not great, but at least you have it, right? It's for a true emergency. You got it. Oh, you're on baby step 3. Way to go, love yourself. That is awesome. Yes. Okay. Savings. Okay. So savings for some people, I was also just talking to Linda about this the other day. There are some people that are part of like the FIRE movement. Have you guys heard of the FIRE movement? Is anybody part of the FIRE movement? FIRE stands for, oh my gosh, freedom in retirement early. Yeah, it's like all the people that are working to retire much earlier, and they save like 50% of their income. And that might be something that you have as a goal down the line. Some people think that's kind of extreme. Financial independence, retire early. I had a complete brain, like as I was saying, I'm like, wait a minute. Thank you. Is anybody part of that right now? Because that's an exciting concept to me. But again, we're not looking to retire at a necessarily like Mr. Money Mustache. Do you guys know Mr. Money Mustache? I positively love his content. I think he retired in his 30s, but that doesn't mean, it's another story because they don't really retire. He keeps working, but you don't have to work for money. And that's kind of an exciting concept. But anyway, my point is the savings is important to whatever degree your goals are. Let's move on to the giving category. Now, remember, on like your pad of paper, you're going to be adjusting all these for the month, right? Like don't set it and forget it. We're going into, each category with like almost like fresh eyes. Like you have a map from what you did last month, but things might change this month and we got to roll with that. So if, for example, your household is really tight right now and you are struggling with that, giving might be minor to almost nothing, but I'm going to encourage you, even if you're on the tightest of budgets, to try to even give $1 somewhere, give $5 somewhere, because that giving will change you. And it also makes you feel abundant in a way. And I think I shared this with you the last time. I used to hold on to money so tightly because I was worried I wasn't going to have enough of it. But as soon as I started to give a little bit more, suddenly I had more too. And it's not even like I'm trying to manifest it. It's not even necessarily that. It's, you kind of see where all your money is going and you prioritize a little giving, and it goes a long way. So things that are involved for giving for me, it's literally any time that I'm giving money to anyone else. And that would be charities or any kind of donations to a place that you think is important and a place that you want to support. Tithing, if applicable, if you are a tither. If you are planning to celebrate someone's birthday, and that would be the gift or the anything like that. Anniversaries. I'm not going to spend a ton of time on this one because on this category, because it's kind of like straightforward. Anytime you are spending your money on other people, and this is also another thing, baby showers, it's also another thing to be in tune with, because some of us are overgivers and we don't realize how much, because you just think like, oh, well, it's Cheryl's birthday, I have to get her a gift. Oh, well, it's Susie's anniversary, I have to get her a gift. Oh, well, this person just moved into the house, I'm gonna get him a housewarming gift. And you just kind of do it because you have to, but you have to, I hate that word, but like obligatory gifts, but you're not even tallying it up because you're like, oh, well, I had to do that. That's like, I couldn't not do that. But you don't know how much you actually gave away. So giving of any kind, I like to track so that I'm aware, because if I don't have enough to pay for my groceries, sorry, Cheryl, but you're not getting a gift this year. If I don't have enough money to pay my electric, I'm sorry, Susie, but I will celebrate your anniversary next year, or I will write you a card, or I will write you a note, or I will give you a hug. But like when it's tight, you've got to be aware. You know what I mean? Yes. Absolutely. That it's just if that can be ingrained in you, and I know that when money's tight, because I've been there, and I'm like, how do I have any money to give? I don't have anything to give. Find some, and you'll be surprised. There's somewhere where you can find it. And again, at first, start small, start teeny. Your your niece is having a fundraiser for the Girl Scouts, and she asked to buy a box of cookies, and you're like, I don't have money for that. But you do, because you also spent on, shoes or something like that you don't need, or something like that. You know what I mean? Like just look for the opportunities when possible, which leads us to lifestyle. This is what I call the category that's icing on the cake. This one, again, nothing in this category is essential. These are all choices. And some of you, of course, want your lifestyle category to be very prosperous and large, but it depends what's going on. If you are having a hard time paying the bills, you might have nothing. You might have actually nothing in this category for a little bit until you do. And then the world is your oyster and you can do what you want. But lifestyle for a bit might have to be a little smaller. And I apologize to anybody named Cheryl or Susie. Okay. So what's in my lifestyle budget? Definitely going out to eat. And I love going out to eat. But if I'm having a hard time making my bills, then I'm not going out to eat. So some people like to put going out to eat with their food budget. I completely separate it, completely. Groceries are essential. Going out to eat, in my opinion, is not. And again, you can do that however you want, but that is absolutely not an essential in my life. It's a real joy when I get to. It's great. What I like to do, and again, you can do this however you want, but I like to have a Kate miscellaneous. I don't write the word miscellaneous. I put that for you. I usually just write Kate. So in my lifestyle, let's say I put $100. I'm just, for example. And that kind of is actually kind of like, I'd say my standard per month. I try. And the same for Caden. My son, I like to have a Caden line so that if something happens and he needs something, it's built in there. You know what I mean? Like, or he wants something. Like say, like he just found this book, this series of books, and he like loved it. He was like, "Oh, Mom, I can't wait to read the next one." And so that, note to self, like maybe I'll get him that, or maybe we'll take it out of the library depending on where we're at. But or whatever it is. But like, just I like to have like the option. In your lifestyle categories can be your hobbies. I have so many friends that are crafters and they have buyer's remorse. Are any of you crafters that buy tons of crafting materials and then do not utilize them? Let me know in the comments. I know that's like sometimes people choose hobbies that cost some money, which is great if it's in your budget. So that would be in there. Entertainment, the movies, going skiing, anything that you find fun, that goes in your lifestyle. But hopefully you find fun in a lot of free things, right? Hopefully. Home decor, throw pillows, my friends, candles, all the things that we love to stuff in our houses, that would be in your lifestyle category because you don't need these things necessarily, Thank you so much, you guys. Thank you for your support. You're the best. Okay. So let's move into one of my favorite budgeting strategies that has really helped me not go over budget, not stress as much over money, and really be a tool in just lowering my anxiety about my bills in general. And that, my friends, is the budget buffer. I have a couple different videos on the budget buffer. I tend to get really silly when I talk about the budget buffer because it's just a funny word. Like try to say it 5 times fast, and it's very easy to remember. What is the budget buffer? It's 1 month of expenses in your checking account at all times. So, for example, say your monthly expenses are $3,000. Let's just say like your household is $3,000. So you want to work toward having $3,000 in your checking account at all times so that you never, ever overdraft. You're never like, well, because some people are like, well, what if you have no money and you pretend like $3,000 in your mind is zero? Does that make sense? Let me look at what you guys are saying. Julie said, can 1 month of expenses in savings at all time? I would put it in my checking if that's where all your money comes out of, like if your bills come out of there, just as an in case. For example, I've shared this with the K Squad before. There was 1 month that my mortgage said that my auto pay wasn't working or something like that. And I was like, oh, so then I got paranoid and I paid the bill. My mortgage, which is not small, paid my mortgage twice. It's the only time I've ever done that. But I didn't panic because it was in the budget buffer. So we got that straightened out, but I didn't lose it. You know what I mean? Because that was like, oh, paid the mortgage twice. Way to go, Kate. But with the budget buffer, you won't panic. So let's talk about 5 quick tips to help build this budget buffer so that you can reach toward your goals. Okay, so let me give you 5 examples right now on how we can actually build this up. All right, number 1 is take remainders of any items that you have that come in under budget. I always have this example. Sorry if you hear it all a million times, but if you allot $100 for gas and you only spend 80, take 20 and leave it in your checking. Don't touch it, but account for it. Make sure that you're writing that down. Saved, put it over. If your electric bill, you planned for $150, it comes in at $100, boom, $50 right into your budget buffer. Okay, so like chip away at things like that. Any line item that comes under, and you're going to know you are under because you're tracking everything, right? That's why we're doing this. You got this. The second way to start building your budget buffer that won't hurt too much is if you swap out a less expensive form of entertainment once in a while. Say, for example, you think like, you know what? We're going to go to the movies, and you planned it. You even had it in your budget. You're like, we're going to the movies. We're, even getting popcorn tonight or whatever. And then you say, you know what? I would rather have that $50 in my budget buffer for the future. Take that money and do that instead. Say you're going to go, I don't know, on a ski weekend, and you change your mind. Think about all the money that, like, if you made simple choices, you chose a least expensive kind of entertainment, how fast that could build, right? Number 3. Oh, I'm talking about this in the video tomorrow, Friday. Have a no spend weekend. You probably like, don't even say no spend to me right now, Kate, because we've just had no spend January, but do a no spend weekend. If you are like trying to just say you're used to spending every weekend and you want to, you want to just like chip away at this real quick, don't spend anything that weekend, or do it once a month. You don't have to have a no spend year. You don't have to have another full no spend month, but just choose a no spend weekend. The art of staying at home and enjoying yourself in your own home. Number 4, let go of one thing. Say, for example, you are addicted to Coca-Cola. I had a friend that was, and she gave it up, and she saved. That was like her thing. You know what I mean? Like, she loved Coca-Cola and she drank a lot of it. And she gave it up, and there were so many benefits. She saved a ton of money, and she actually lost a ton of weight. Not that you have to do anything to lose weight, but let go of one thing. Maybe you're in the habit of stopping at the gas station and getting a 3 Musketeers often. Get rid of that one thing. Say all of a sudden, like, you are, whatever it is, whatever the thing is, get rid of it. And again, it doesn't have to be forever, just a period of time. Number 5, tax returns. If you are getting a tax return, have you guys started working on your taxes yet? I'm just still gathering my paperwork. I haven't fully dove in. Also, let me know in the comments, do you do your taxes yourself, like with TurboTax, or what's the other one that's very popular? I'm forgetting. Or do you hire an accountant to do that? I feel like I've always done TurboTax. Can you believe that? I've always done TurboTax. And I have a feeling my finances might start to get a little dicier as I'm getting older, but right now, TurboTax. If you haven't done it, you do taxes for free online. Hi, Donna. But back to the budget buffer, you guys. If you get a tax return you might have plans for that. And if you already have plans for that, fine, like do whatever you want. But if you want to build your budget buffer, could you put it in your budget buffer to just have that safety? And then you're just have like, again, your 1 month of expenses in your checking at all times. Simple as long as we take standard deductions versus long form. Yes, accountant. Oh, you never get a return. So sometimes you don't get a return. I know. And someone's saying like, I don't trust myself. It makes me feel like there's even like a check at the end, like that gives you kind of like a review. But yeah, if you don't do it if you're uncomfortable. Don't do it. I had to help with some of my family members too. Yeah. And if you hopefully guys, like you are thinking like that, it could go that way too, and you are prepared. Okay. So we're getting toward the end. I'm hoping to pick out a couple questions. Let me just think about this as a recap as we're finishing, like we're coming to the end here. If you have any pressing questions that you think I can answer in a rapid fire 10-minute kind of situation, please leave it below, okay? Let me get this off the screen. When you are making your budget, make sure every month that we're doing this. Next month, we're going to do this again, okay? We're going to do 1 more hour together of tweaking and talking and going over all the things so we don't forget the things. The other important thing that you must be doing besides this plan, this is a beautiful plan. We've got the plan, but the tracking is the difference. I heard the saying the other day. I don't know if I heard it or I thought it. I don't know, so I apologize if I'm stealing this, but the quote in my mind or what I heard was, you are what you repeat. You know, people say like you are what you eat. You are what you repeat. Budgeting is super repetitive, and I dig that about budgeting. I love that I do it every single month. I love that I look at my budget every single day for 5 minutes. Once you've got your arms around this, you guys, it's going to just be 5 minutes a day, a little peek every day. Like you're just taking a peek. Okay, is everything good? Do I need to fix it? This is not time consuming. Though we spent an hour last month, we spent an hour tonight, and it goes by so quick. I can't believe it's almost time to go. The next month, we're going to do it again. But you are what you repeat. So do not think that like, oh, well, I did it, so it's just the same. It's not. It's unique every single month, right? Trying to see if I see anything like that. Oh, tax slayer. I've never heard of tax. Maybe I've never done it. Yeah. Hey, Anna, she says to track my spending, I use a blank calendar to jot down what I expect to go out and what really happens. Working so far. Pencil, not pen. That's a good idea so that you can erase. And I have shared this with you that I track my budget in an app called Every Dollar, but I didn't want to do that on here because I know a lot of people get very frustrated with apps. But you can use an app. That's definitely a tool you can use. But I wanted to go the straightforward notebook and pen or paper so that anyone, literally anyone and everyone can do it. And I truly, truly, truly believe that no matter what your income is and no matter what your spending habits are, everyone should have a budget. I truly believe that. And I know people that, oh, well, they make so much, they don't need a budget. Yeah, you do. Or I don't make enough to have a budget. Yeah, you do. Like everyone, you know, everyone should have a budget, at least to get their arms around it. And if you're still thinking, oh, happy birthday, Candace. It's my birthday tomorrow, guys. If you guys are still thinking like, did I get everything for the budget? Please check out that link that Linda put in the comments with all the town and country, like the list. I think she put it in earlier, but check that out. Julie just said tracking. Is it everything, i.e. groceries, eating out, medicine? 100%. I'm so glad you asked that. Yes. Every single dollar you spend. I track everything. And so some of you might think like, oh, but is that time consuming? No. So one of the other things that I have talked about on my channel is I am a debit/credit card kind of girl. I like a digital thing because I don't trust myself with cash. I can fork over cash like it's fake money. I don't feel cash. It's like it didn't happen. If I don't have a record of it, it didn't happen. But when I see it, I know other people, the swipe doesn't matter. They swipe, swipe, swipe. That accountability in writing, it happened. It's documented. So by the way, I don't spend every day, but if I didn't remember what I spent, just go look in your check. Just go look in your debit account. Look in your bank account. What did you just say? Town and country. If you haven't opened a checking yet and you are in Southern Maine, make sure you have a checking account. And they even have the categories. Like you can arrange it by category. It's amazing. And they can help you budget into buckets, just like the way we're saying it. So don't sleep on your accounts. Like your accounts are there for a reason. If you are a cash envelope person and it's working for you, ignore what I'm saying because I want it to be working for you. But for me, it's all about digital. You know what I mean? But if you are an envelope person and you rock it, keep going. But cash, nope. I like having a little on me, but I like it all documented. And yeah, Darlene just said I spend faster with cash. This can go either way with like we had a big discussion about it earlier on the channel actually this month. Do what works for you. But when you like, if you're a town and country member, you can go look at your account and go, oh, I spent $14 at McDonald's. Oh, I spent $16 at Taco Bell. Oh, I spent $25 at Pizza Hut. Geez, maybe, you know what I mean? Like it's all there. You can't ignore it. And I just think the budget buffer tool, that if you can build that in by maybe using some of these tips, and if you're looking for more tips, you guys, like if you're like, well, what are more ideas? Please go to my channel after this when you're gone. Look through my channel. I have a budgeting playlist, a frugal living playlist, a saving money playlist, like hours of content that will help you find tips to save more money. Yeah. And okay, I'm just trying to see if I saw anything that was like, I keep a small notebook with me to write. So that's another great option. If you're like, well, how do I track? Helter Skelter, I like that. Keep a little notebook with you and track it that way. And then it could be either your budget notebook or just like a travel one. You know what I mean? That's a great idea because some people are not going to do the digital way. Just keep a little notebook. And oh, Gert, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate that so much. Chipotle on you. That's the best. Thank you so much. Thank you for the birthday wishes. I really appreciate that. That's so sweet. Thank you. The 5 minutes in the morning that I told you that you will probably continue to do with your budget, the 5 minutes, that's when you could input your spending from the day before or check out your notebook and add that in. You know what I mean? Thank you, Mike. The next date that we're going to get together, you guys, I just don't want to not say it, is going to be March 2nd. It's a Thursday. It'll be at the same time. So if you can come Thursday, March 2nd at 6:30, we are going to do this again. Linda, I don't know if you have the link. I'm actually, if you have the link for the March sign up, guy, oh, here it is, helps us with a head count and just kind of, we're able to keep in touch with you. She's able to send follow-up emails and make sure that you have all the information for the upcoming events. So that's great. If you can just register, it's just like reserving your spot, but giving us a head count. We appreciate that. Darlene, thank you for the birthday wishes, and Carla. Okay, I'm just checking to see if there's any other little things that I might have missed. Oh, hold on. So Diana, her question was how to track a car payment to make sure it's getting paid. Struggling with this area. I do good with rent and other bills. Diana, so if this is like a thing that is like your problem area, you're struggling with it, I would put it out in front of you. There are probably a million free printables online. I personally don't make printables, but you don't even have to buy a printable, or you don't even have to use a free printable. I would take a picture. This is what I literally would do. I would take a picture. Let's see, a car. I can't draw a car, but let me let's just for a second. This is a terrible car, everybody. Ready? I would take like a drawing, and I would make segments like this and do like $100 increments. And I would fill it in. I would color in every time you got $100 until you get, say it's 10,000 to the top. You know what I mean? I would make a visual. I would be loud and proud about it because I would want it in front of my face. Hang it on your refrigerator. Like, put it in front of your face. You want to get rid of that car payment? You want to get rid of that debt? Make it obvious. Get it in your face. Is that helpful? Sorry for the pathetic car payment. Cars by Kate. You're welcome. Oh, Under the Median might have a printable. I love Under the Median, by the way. Okay. They're opening a Chipotle near me soon. You guys know I'm excited. Oh, the Budget Mom has free pro tables on her website. Cool. So that's a good place to go. I draw like you, Donna, fantastically. Okay. I'm gonna bring Linda back in just for a minute. Just make sure we have any closing remarks. I'm gonna be here again next month. You guys know I make videos every single Friday talking about frugal living, budgeting, and saving money. So if you're not subscribed or you're looking just for more, come check us out. Hit subscribe and come watch. Okay, I'm going to bring Linda in. Hi, Linda.
Hi. Got to make sure I
Perfect.
I can hear myself.
Oh, great. I just want to make sure. Did I miss anything about March? Like, am I good?
No, March 2nd at 6:30 again. I did put the link in the chat, so that's always great. People sign up, and we know who's interested and excited to keep working on their budget. So, no, I think this was great tonight, and we have lots of questions, lots of people, and I shared a couple of things that tools that Town and Country has to help you along the way and working on this project. And I think you're right. The more that you are in your budget, once you get it set up and you're tuned into it, it's not so overwhelming and it's not such a big project. Just becomes part of what you do. I mean, I think you've talked about that in the morning when you get up and you're making your coffee is when you're kind of reviewing everything and updating things that, just to know where you stand. And it's just that daily that daily habit. And another thing too is like going in and looking at your money, looking at your savings accounts, looking at your 401k, even though it's been like this, this year, even if it's just once a week or once a month, know where you stand. And it's just good to get familiar with it and looking at your debt balances, that helps just keeping it present in your mind where you stand. And, kind of they say knowledge is power, versus kind of putting our head in the sand sometimes because we just don't want to know. So this is just like little baby steps to get there and get comfortable with it. So I think this is great.
I totally agree. Hey, they're saying that they didn't get the link. Can you copy and paste? Sorry about that. The
link for next month.
Yep. Sorry about that. They're asking for that.
I will go find.
Perfect. Oh, thank you so much, you guys. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. I'm really excited. I can't believe it's my birthday tomorrow. My goodness. Ooh, ND says, Linda said, no more head in the sand for me.
There we go.
Perfect. You guys, thank you so much for coming tonight. I hope it was helpful. I cannot wait to see you next month, and I hope to see you each week in between. And thank you, Town and Country. We will see you next time.
That's right. Good night, everybody. Thanks for being here.